Don't you love it when things are both easier and more affordable? Like when the rain washes your car for you. Or like when you save up to 10% by bundling your renters and auto insurance with USAA. Bundle with USAA and start saving. Get a quote today.
Welcome back to It's Just Coffee, and welcome back to our World of Coffee Dubai special. You've already heard some of the amazing conversations we've had, like our chat with Wilfred Lemastis Jr., the farmer behind the world's most expensive coffee. And we chatted with the World Barista champion, Mikhail Jasin, but we're just getting started. For the next 2 weeks, we're doubling down, double the caffeine, double the podcast. We're dropping 4 new episodes each week, Tuesday to Friday. More deep dives, more behind-the-scenes moments, and more of the world's best coffee minds, all straight from Dubai. So grab a coffee, settle in, and get ready for another episode of It's Just Coffee. Enjoy the show.
Sweet as. All right. Welcome back to the It's Just Coffee podcast, everyone. Today I'm joined by the Brewers Cup champion of Qatar, Eduard Inocencio. Woo! How are you, mate?
First and foremost, I want to thank God. If it wasn't for Him, I will not be in this position right now. Thank you for the whole team of DXB and It's Just Coffee for the platform. And finally, I got to meet in person the great Kirk person.
Oh, mate. Well, cheers to that. Cheers to that. We've been, I guess you'd say, pen pals online for how many years now? 5 or 6 years?
Could be, yeah, because I'm seeing Australian scene also. Australia scene, coffee scene.
Have you been to Australia?
Not yet.
Well, you'll have to come eventually. We'll make sure you get over. But what is it about Australian coffee that interested you to talk to me?
Coffee quality. Number one is coffee quality. I think one of the biggest personalities that I'm following ever since before is Matt Berger.
Matt Berger?
Matt Berger.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I've been following Barista Hustle also and Ona, especially when Mr. Sasasechits won.
Yeah. Well, we had Matt Berger on the podcast recently, and we had Sasha on the podcast recently, and I think I've spoken about this on the podcast a lot in the last couple of episodes, where it's kind of this global thing where you can actually be really good friends with someone, having never met them, and them being halfway across the world. And then you and I meet the other day at the Espresso Lab, and it's just like, wow, we just kick it right off. And you messaged me saying you wanted one of these shirts, so I thought, you know what, I have to hook my man up, and you look good.
Yeah, thank you. I need to represent, of course, the legends from Australia. Thank you.
It's our pleasure. So you were born in the Philippines,
yes,
and moved to Qatar,
yes.
How old are you now?
How old are you?
How old are you now?
32.
32. And so, what age did you move to Qatar?
It was 25. I was 25.
What's it like shifting countries? I've never moved countries before, and it seems like going from the Philippines to Qatar. It's a big jump. You know what I mean? So what's that journey been like for you?
I was introduced as to be respectful to different cultures, and knowing all through social medias how they act, what is not allowed to wear. Of course, Filipinos will help you to communicate well and to adjust. But basically, it pushes me also to know, because knowing myself, I could compete also to other nationalities with so much humility to say that one. Yeah.
So you're the Brewers Cup champion of Qatar now.
Yeah.
Is this your first time you've won?
So there were 3 occurrences already that Brewers Cup held in Qatar. So the first one, the qualifiers for Athens, I placed second. Yeah. Then the qualifiers for Chicago, I took third. Then finally for the Jakarta, I won now.
This is a random as story, and I can't name names specifically, but there was a certain, let's say, royal family member from Qatar that came to a cafe I used to work at and booked the whole thing out, and I made coffee for him one time. It was a really interesting experience, but I think I learnt at that time that actually this region is just crazy about coffee. Like since I've been in the United Arab Emirates, it's been a really eye-opening experience, because the coffee culture here is so different to how it is in Australia. People, like, the shops are open till so much later at night. You know, there's much more Panamanian geisha, more than I've ever seen before. What do you think? What would you like more people to know about the Middle East and the Qatar coffee scene?
So regarding the you mentioned already, Dubai is more open. I think compared to the other Middle East countries, I could say the factor that Qatar could follow is to appreciate more of the wash coffees, appreciate what is the sour fruits, and just don't depend on the flavor itself because all of the coffees have flavors. And I think with our coffee community going forward, we have top players now competing. I think we could help also the locals more be educated rather than sticking on their principles. Also getting more sweeteners into coffee.
So you said, is there only 3 competitions ever that have been held in Qatar? Is that what you're saying?
We do have already tasters. Started last year. We do have also national barista and latte art. We sent the last two latte artists that won represented us.
But there's only ever been 3 Brewers Cup competitions held in Qatar.
Yes.
So it's a really new thing. So what does it mean because a lot of people that might listen to this might be critical of the government system in Qatar or whatever. You know, everyone's got their opinion. But I think obviously millions of people living there and you don't drink alcohol in Qatar.
No.
So coffee is a really meaningful thing.
Until night.
And I think growing a coffee scene in a country like that is really important.
Yep.
But it gives so much hope to all the residents that live there. Would you agree with this?
I totally agree. I think most of our locals must be involved also, not just be consumer-wise, not just to be a business owner-wise. Business is always there. So I think better they trust more of the expats, what we call the expats. So because our knowledge, we're always happy to share with them. And they have the money. We don't have the money. So, I think we will go all forward. Usually in Qatar, if you've been familiar with the brewers, with the baristas, in competitions, there's always like usual players or usual gamers. So basically, our community is just small yet, but we are thriving. We know all the trends, how to win. But we need also the support of our local community.
Well, there's something I want to touch on just there. You said locals and you said expats. So let's try and explain to the listener what you mean by that, because in the United Arab Emirates, I've learned a lot of the locals would be people that are officially citizens of the UAE. And because of this country, I guess, discovering oil, 50 or 60 years ago, they've actually been able to enrich their I guess, native population a lot. But it's different for the expats that come here. So, a lot of the locals here that they're called the natives, I guess we'll categorize it as that, they kind of don't have to work. They get like a government stipend. They have a lot of money, expendable income. And then expats come in and work, but enrich the culture in a different way. So even though there's like I can't speak for Qatar, you can outline that for us. But in the UAE, the experience has been, okay, well, these are the locals, but it's a very multicultural country. So are there any differences in the Qatari system?
Actually, the last 2 sentences you've mentioned already, what could I answer? Basically, they have work already that is stable to earn their money. I think just put in the work also, that's like what you've said, here in Dubai, the locals are really hands-on. They can make coffee also. For us, I think they could, if they don't want to work as a barista, I think they should be fully support to us, not just really hesitant, like maybe you cannot do this, you cannot do all out support is what we need.
But as an expat to Qatar, do you feel appreciated there?
Yes. I don't have complaints in life. I cannot complain with that kind of questions, but I think it cannot be answered as yes or no. It's just that in life you should be appreciated. Appreciate more what they appreciate more of the positive things rather than the negative things, negative impressions, negative reputations. What these citizens is doing. So I'm in a good company, and we are doing what we are doing. We are doing what we must supposed to do. Compete also. So I'm happy.
Let's talk about your competition coffee now. We're drinking it.
Yeah,
so
we're drinking
it's Finca Jansen anaerobic natural.
Natural, low impact anaerobic, just 24 hours in stainless steel barrels. But it's really fruity, full of strawberries. I did have chocolate bar in my sweetness during competition day. It was long aftertaste. When I say long, it was long aftertaste in the competition.
So when you're doing the Brewers competitions, and how many competitors are there in Qatar? Like when you enter the competition, how many?
I think we did 10 this
10?
time.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so what's your approach to brewing? Like when you're putting together how you're going to make your coffee, what was your plan? How did you get? Because even if there's 10, I'm sure those people are very well resourced and they're competing very hard. So what's your approach to brewing?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Thank you for your great question, I must say. Exactly, yeah. They invest, especially this third time. Even judges noticed that our competition did the race bar higher compared to the earlier ones. Happy that I have prepared for these tight competitors, that I've sourced one of the greatest coffee I've drunk. My technique is all about simplicity because I really want people, home brewers, to replicate what I can. If there's so many variables at time, grind size, turbulence, temperature, I'm sticking at least to the SCA range. So for example, I brewed it 94 degrees.
Yep.
So something like that.
When a question that just popped into my mind, we've spoken a lot about your life in Qatar, but what about the Philippines? Because I was speaking to Frederick from Archer's Coffee the other day, and he's a Filipino expat here, had a lot of success over here. But he actually said that coffee is kind of growing a lot in the Philippines as well. When was the last time you went there, and do you agree with that?
So I started 2017 as an expat, moving to Qatar. It's been 8 years that I haven't seen the coffee culture, the coffee growing culture, at least to be hands-on or just to be followed what they are doing now, because I'm outside busy in my work. But I have the privilege to taste some of the beautiful Philippine coffees we have there. Last month, I took my vacation there. So I could say this is really growing. There is still the character of Philippine coffee, which is robust, some kicking, strong flavors that you don't want if you are really coffee lover or filter coffee lover. But I could say that these recent years Philippine coffee improved a lot.
And what about the coffee, like the cafe scene there? Like, is that popping off?
Popping off. Pop-ups, kiosks, brew bar, coffee shops. I could say that many of Filipinos work outside the Philippines, return home, open their own coffee shops.
That's a huge thing that happens in a lot of countries, a lot of Asian countries, to be honest. In Australia, we've got a huge Japanese, like a lot of traveling Japanese students and just working holiday makers. Same with Korean, same with Chinese. And they all go back, they come and learn their craft, and they go back to their home countries and grow it. And I think, I'm hopeful that the same thing happens in the Philippines. It's not as much of a developed nation as some of the others, but there's no reason why you can't have a flourishing and thriving coffee scene as well.
Yeah.
And we on this podcast, we want to make it a global podcast and appeal to the Filipino people as well.
Yeah, actually, it's everyone is sacrificing their time, their family to gain income. Of course, outside the Philippines, but Filipinos are family oriented. We miss a lot our relatives back in our country. So if we have a chance to at least who annually took vacation, or maybe if we have money for 6 months, some are grabbing that opportunity to at least embrace what we are missing there. And of course, the coffee culture. You have said even 6 months up to a year, coffee shops that are opening could be rapid. Not in the big scale, not as a full store, but as a business-wise, that because we are coffee lovers, I must say.
So when you go to Jakarta in May, what are you planning to use coffee-wise, or is that a secret?
I will announce it in May 15, 2025 in Jakarta.
All right, keep it close to your chest. That's fair enough. Are you feeling confident for it?
All good. Especially if someone asking me this question, how's my preparation? Am I comfortable? I'm doing good. I tend now to explain myself more. I think this kind of answer will really help also those people who are overthinkers, especially this competition that I had when I took second, right? Then I become third. It's a more on mental game. So I have prepared my mental aspect, at least maybe more than my skill-wise. Yeah.
Well, we had Cole Terode and David Crosby on the podcast, so they've coached 2 World Barista champions, and they said that the competitors that go to the Worlds, they shall have practiced their routine 100 times before then. Do you think you'll do yours 100 times?
I cannot say yes. I don't count it actually. How many runs I took in a day. I think one of the factors that could be if you really want to compete, even if it's especially for those who are first timers, you need to build your confidence because you need to be familiar with the biggest stage, brightest lights. I'm happy that I have an experience being a basketball player before, just to enter this this topic. So I used to be crowds already. Even I used to be a dancer. When I was in college days. So crowd cheering, woo, booing. At least now in different field.
What kind of dancer?
B-boying, breakdance, the famous terms.
If we wanted you to bust a move right here, right now, would you do it?
If you could adjust the camera, why not?
If he busts if he does a little dance move right here, will it be in shot? It will. All right, well, get up. Come on, show me a move. Show me a move.
So I am always ready with this kind of opportunity.
He's always ready. All right, let's go. So come stand in here.
I don't know if my condition, right, my body condition.
He is wearing jeans, so let's not.
So I'm doing a move that I still remember. Wow.
Okay. All right, he's dancing, busting a move. Oh yeah. Oh. Well, I'm gonna show you a move of my own, and as everyone who's listening to this podcast ever will know now, Australians lead the world in breakdancing.
Yes.
You've heard of ray gun?
Yeah, I've been.
All right. Well, you gotta get the ray gun happening. So. All right. This is not for the people listening. They won't be able to see all that, but we'll stick to the coffee stuff from now on.
We would like to thank our partners again from Eco Barista. www.ecobarista.com.au if you would like to get 15% off your first order. Do it today. This camel did it, and now look at him. As always, it's just coffee.
So you've been listening to the podcast for a few years.
Yep. I can't remember all of the podcasts I've listened to. I only most remembered the inspiring words. For example, you brought Haney in one of your podcasts. I think then after that, I messaged him. I DM him. You've been inspiring, something like that. I messaged him because I was inspired by his interview. So yeah, I took most of the instruments that I'm using and practicing is I'm reading articles, motivational quotes, basketball players that become MVPs.
Hey, did you see that Jimmy Butler's got big face here?
Yeah, big face is there. So yeah.
Well, I mean, for what you just said, like that's why we do the podcast.
Yeah.
We're hoping that one day we've reached someone anywhere in the world, and they can have this experience. And it's really an honor to have you on because we've been talking for a few years, and we want to help grow the coffee scene globally. So whether it's in Australia, whether it's in America, Doha, Qatar, it doesn't matter. Wherever you are, it doesn't matter what the situation in the country is politically or who the government is. We don't care. So long as coffee's there and people are able to do it, that's what it's all about for us. So it's an honor to have you on.
Thank you.
Have you got an extra hot take with 2 sugars?
Go ahead. How many?
No. Well, I'm asking you because I'm not going to do one. We're doing shorter podcasts for the World of Coffee.
Sure.
But if you've got an extra hot take with 2 sugars, you're more than welcome to deliver it.
So I prepared this morning my answer to that question because that is your last question every
Always
podcast.
last question.
So my hot take is, if you are saving money for future ventures, for whatever, maybe you're buying iPhone and you cannot go to your usual cafes that has geisha or specialty coffee, go to Dunkin Donuts.
To go to Dunkin Donuts?
Yeah.
Why Dunkin Donuts?
Don't go to any big companies. Just go to your local Dunkin Donuts. Their coffee, I can say decent. I could live in the day drinking their coffee.
So Dunkin Donuts is producing good coffee, you would say?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's my hot take.
Is there Dunkin Donuts here in the UAE?
I think so. I think so.
Is there some in Doha?
Yeah, even in Qatar that we have.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, we don't have any in Australia, so I'm going to hit up Dunkin Donuts if I can while I'm here.
If you can try.
But we're out of time now, so it's been awesome having you on.
Thank you. Thank you.
Any help you need that we can give in growing the coffee scene over there in Qatar, we would love to support.
Thank you.
So yeah, wonderful having you on.
Thank you.
Thank you,
so
Edward.
much.
Cheers.
Cheers.
And as always, everyone,
It's just coffee.
He got it.
Pleasure. Thank you for
Thank
having
you so
me.
much. I hope we can get some of that breakdancing in.